The Eastern Bluebird is an easy bird to manage for. They're beneficial to have around your property because they eat insects. They are secondary cavity nesters, which means they nest in holes that they themselves cannot make. And so you can build a bluebird box and set these up around your property in order to encourage the population of bluebirds. Bluebirds prefer grass habitat. Some of the better places to place boxes are going to be along pastures, along your yard, even along roadways and golf courses. You want to be careful that no pesticides or herbicides are going to be used near bluebird boxes, since bluebirds eat the insects that might be affected by them. Often bluebird boxes are going to be paired. They're paired 50 to 100 feet away from each other in order to reduce competition between bluebird pairs themselves, or bluebirds and sparrows, or even tree swallows. The opening to the box should face to the south or to the east to keep out the prevailing winds and rain that come this time of the year. If you have predators in the area, you want to make sure that you have predator guards on your boxes. Predators could include snakes, raccoons, and even cats. When checking a bluebird box, you want to make sure that you let the bluebirds know that you're there to check it. And so when you come up to a box, stand off to the side in case there's a bird in there. You don't want it to fly into your face. And then take and knock on the side of the box to let the birds know that you're there. Usually if there's a bird inside, then the bird will fly out and you can go about checking your nest. You have to be careful though, because sometimes when you open up the box, the bird might still be in there. And as we take a look at this box, and I look inside, I can see that there is still a female bird inside here. So she is sitting on the box, on the young that are in there, keeping them warm, and she doesn't want to move away. So we'll just close up so she's not any more stressed. We're going to take a look at these bluebird babies as they develop over their lifetime. So as we take a close look at the babies, we can see based on their feather development that they are probably about 2 days old. So this is what a 2-day-old bluebird looks like. As I came up to the box, the female was sitting on the nest, keeping the babies warm. At this stage in their life, they cannot regulate their own temperature, so the female has to brood them for the first 6 days of their life. So these are the baby bluebirds at day 6. You can see that the feathers are just starting to break out on their wings. They don't quite have their eyes open yet. The parents must be doing a good job feeding them because they're not begging for any food right now. All right, we have our birds at day 9. You can see that their feathers have started to break out and they're actually starting to look like little birds. Their eyes have opened up. And you can start to see the blue color on them. They're really starting to fill up the nest now. Now these have been in here for 9 days, and you may wonder, they're eating. They obviously have to be pooping. You can see that there is what we call a poop sac here on the edge of the nest. When the babies actually poop, the poop is in a little membrane so that the male or the female can actually carry it out of the nest and then drop it. That's how the nest stays so clean. They must have missed this one somehow. So again, take a look at the birds. Day 9. All right, here we have our bluebird babies at day 12. I'll take one out of the nest for you. They've changed a lot in the past 3 days since we've looked at them. You'll notice the feathers are completely out. They're starting to get the blue on their feathers, indicative of a bluebird. Now you might wonder, why in the world do we check these babies? Well, there is a parasite that does attack them, and so the reason I check the babies every couple of days is to make sure that that parasite's not in the nest. And if it's there, I simply replace the nesting material so that the babies are happy and healthy. So there are your bluebird babies at day 12. All right, here we have our bluebirds at day 14. You can see they're really becoming active. The blue is very noticeable on the wings. This is going to be a male. Females are going to be duller in color at this point. You can see they have a faint white ring around their eye. That's indicative of the bluebird, the thrush species. Baby robins have the same thing. This is going to be the last day that we're going to check these guys. After day 14, they're too active to check. You'll scare them too much and they could leave the nest early. The process of leaving the nest is called fledging. So these are very close to fledging between day 14 and 21. We do not check the nest. And at some point before day 21, they will leave the nest and be on their own. The male and female then will begin a second nest and continue to feed these guys throughout the summer. So there you are, bluebirds, day 14. All right, this is day 21. Open up the box. Bluebirds are all gone. You can see the nest is in pretty nasty shape from the babies that were in there as long as they were. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this nest and we're just going to get rid of it. Bluebirds will do 2 nests a year, so we want to clean that box out so it's ready for their second nest. Now if you look around in the trees or any perches nearby, you may see the young birds. Like I said, the male and the female, even while they're doing their next nest will continue to help feed those young fledglings throughout the summer. One of the birds that you don't want in your bluebird boxes is the European house sparrow. A house sparrow nest is going to look a little different than a bluebird's in that it's made out of grass, but it also has a lot of other things in it. You can see this nest here is a house sparrow's nest. It has feathers in it. Looks like it has some goat hair in it, has some green grass in it. It's just not a neat nest like the bluebird. In this nest also, usually there's not a hole here. I don't know what this bird was doing when it built it, but there are eggs in this nest. So this is what a sparrow egg looks like. It's about the same size as a bluebird egg. Bluebird eggs are blue. Sparrow eggs are a pale blue with the brown spots on it. Usually you want to remove your sparrow nest from next to a bluebird. In this case, because I have the baby bluebirds in a box next door, I don't want the sparrows to get mad and go over there and beat the bluebird up or chase it out or even kill the babies. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to remove those eggs and I'm going to put marbles in its place. The female's not going to know the difference. She'll sit and incubate those marbles for as long as it takes and eventually give up on the nest. Normally, if there's not a bluebird around, I'll go ahead and just remove this nest. It is legal to do that, as a house sparrow is not protected by federal law like our other birds are. Thanks for sticking with me and learning about bluebirds. Now, I know people always ask questions about handling birds. You know, female bluebirds are mothers just like mothers of anything else, whether it's kittens, puppies, goats, cattle. If you touch their babies, you touch their nest, yes, they're going to come back. They're going to claim them. Now, if you're handling baby birds, you don't want to handle them often, and you want to be really, really careful and definitely wash your hands afterwards. But if you find a baby bird on the ground, the best thing you can do is look around, find the nearest nest that has something that looks very similar to it in, and put it back in there. The mother is going to take it back. And so with these bluebirds, we're just helping to manage them, help to make sure that there are no parasites, that they're doing fine, and then we can get a count to see what the next generation is going to be. So lend the wildlife a hand, put up some bluebird boxes, enjoy watching the babies develop throughout the summer, and see what you can come up with.